So you've decided that prestiging is what you want to go ahead and do, and you're wondering what the fastest way of prestiging is in the game. Before we get into the nuts and the bolts, the tips and the tricks that I have for you, hopefully many of which will help you out, I do want to say a couple things first, and a couple of disclaimers here, because I think some people will be expecting a quick fix. They'll be expecting a way to pretty much instantly prestige, and there is a reason why I've called this video the fastest way to prestige and not the instant way to prestige. The fact of the matter is that the prestige system in Hunt Showdown kind of sucks, and I will discuss that in a little bit more detail in a few moments time. It's not great, and it will require a lot of grind. However, the purpose of this video is to just shave off a few hours here, a few hours there, which of course, if you do end up trying to go for the level 100 prestige, is going to save you a lot of hours in the long run. But make no mistake, this is a marathon, this is not a sprint. This still requires a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of grinding. I want to make that crystal clear at the start, so that if you are here for an instant fix, you realize that is not the case. It's not possible. Secondly, everyone's style in this game is different. Their skill levels are different, and therefore what has worked for me may not work as well for you. It may even work better for you in some cases, but it's important to mention that, to realize what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are, because at the end of the day, what's going to correspond to faster XP gain is how successful you are at killing people and not being killed. And that seems like a really obvious thing to say, but that is the equation. How many kills can you get while surviving to get through to cash out your hunters? This is an element of the mechanics I'll get back into in a moment, but you have to understand that your playstyle is important. If you are playing a way that you're not comfortable with and you're not getting success with, it's time to alter your playstyle. Now, I've experimented with a bunch of different playstyles, a bunch of different ways of going up the prestiges, and this video really is tailor-made around what I think has worked best. I will say though that duos and trios are faster to prestige with than playing solo, and I say that as someone with first-hand experience with this, because about 80% of my game time on Hunt Showdown has been solo play. Playing solo on this game is like playing on Ultra Nightmare difficulty. It's very, very tough, because the game is mainly designed for duos primarily, and then trios, and then finally it's designed for solo play on Bounty Hunt. So you have to understand, if you go in there as a solo player, couple things I'll say right off the bat: turn these two things off. Turn allow teams of 3 off, turn skill-based off. The skill-based one mainly for me is to just cut down the queue time, but definitely play against duos as opposed to trios until you really understand the game to a very high level, and even then I would argue that playing against duos is just better than trios anyway. Finally, I said this just before, the prestige system does kind of suck. I'm not going to get into the reasons for prestiging, the pros and the cons of it. I'm assuming that you've already made the decision, and that's why you've clicked on this video. You've decided you want to prestige. This is just about speeding the process up a little bit. It will be getting a rework though, to be fair to Crytek, in the future. They have announced this, they have talked about it, but so far the information that we've been given is very, very vague, and we've just been told it will be sometime later in this year. So I don't know when that is. It's very possible when the prestige system does get overhauled, hopefully for the better, and hopefully it becomes a lot better than it is right now, let's be honest. I will take down this video if it's no longer relevant, and I will update it with a new one. So keep that in mind. Now, all of that's out the way, we can get into the mechanics of prestiging and what I think is going to make the process as quick as possible. First off, this should go without being said, but I've actually had multiple people message me when I've been streaming in my chat and have asked what option they should take when they prestige. This is mind-blowing to me. It should always be the 10% increase on XP. Always, always, always. Because the clue's in the title of this. It gives you more experience. It will speed you through the process faster. The other options are extra hunt dollars, which for me is kind of trash, to be honest with you. If you're an even semi-competent player, especially if you have teammates, you'll be getting decent amounts of hunt dollars anyway. Plus, Mr. Chari has definitely changed that around quite a bit over here with his offering. Sometimes we'll get like 1,000 hunt dollars just for nothing, just for playing the game. So that's even less useful than it used to be. And the legendary skin for free, honestly, I would say just buy the skins that you want, like straight up. It's random anyway. And the plus 10% experience is just massive. It makes a huge amount of difference. So take the 10% every single time. Now, in terms of the prestige itself, I would advise, after experimenting a lot with this, of doing full prestiges with only quick play, full prestiges with only bounty hunt, full prestiges with certain loadouts and certain play styles, I would say, especially if you're a solo player primarily, the first 15 or so levels focus on quick play. But there is a caveat with this. If you're not a very individually skilled player and you don't get much success when it comes to quick play, then maybe skip this altogether. I'll leave that up to you. At the end of the day, if you're playing quick play, you've played like 50 games and your kill to death ratio is like 0.2, you've never won a quick play before, and you're just getting clapped left and right, skip it. Don't bother. It's fine. There's no shame in it. It's not for everyone. It's a faster paced system. It's solo play, so you can't lean on teammates. It can be super random at times. The RNG of which weapons you get to pick up can sometimes work against you. It's not for everybody. There's no shame in it at all. But if you are a good player, or you're at least a competent player, then quick play, I would say, for the first 15 or so levels. Now, I'll show you my stats. This isn't to flex, because I don't even think it's flex worthy anyway. But I'm pretty successful in quick play. I've got a lot of hunters saved off this, a lot of last man standings, a lot of total bounties from this as well. My kill death ratio is obviously solid, which means that I'm killing a lot more than I'm being killed, which means that I'm getting out of there alive. The reason I'm showing you this is that even with these stats, it would have been far quicker for me to just play bounty hunt this entire time. But in this case, it's not about purely the XP that I'm gaining from the quick play, it's about the other stuff that you get from this as well. I think puts you in good stead for the start of your prestige, and there's a reason why I'm saying for the first probably 5, 10, 15 levels at most, and then you're just going to go straight all in into the bounty hunt side. First thing, you can't see any here because I'm nearly at the end of this prestige, so I haven't played quick play since the start of this one, as I'm following my own routine that I'm telling you about right now. Once you are successful in quick play, you get to then hire your characters that survived, and you get everything that came with them. So the hunt dollars first off you're going to get, which is going to be a nice little boost. Not super necessary, but it's never hurts to get a few hundred hunt dollars here or there, does it? You're going to get the upgrade points as well. Your characters are typically going to be between like level 10 and 15, depending on how successful you were with kills. Kills equates to XP, of course. And that's going to get you closer to the promised land of 25 on your hunters. We will touch on that again in a few moments' time. But the most important thing, the best thing about quick play and being successful is you get to keep the weapons. And this is why I say the first 5, 10, 15 levels of a prestige. Because if you're successful, the chances are that you've killed some people with very high-end weapons, or you've been lucky and you've picked them up yourself. You're going to have like a Crowning King, an Uppercut, a Mosin Nagant, a Mosin Obrez. Maybe you're going to have some cool traits thrown in there as well, because every rift you close, you get a free traits. Maybe you can have like Fanning and Doctor and Lightfoot and all these sort of top tier perks, depending on your loadout. You're going to get so much out of this that you can then take over into Bounty Hunt once you start to make your full grind towards the next level 100. This is so useful and powerful at the start of your prestige, and that's why I would recommend that you get in there on quick play, because in Bounty Hunt you're going to be starting one of the sucky things about prestige that desperately needs to be reworked. I think there should be a token system implemented, but I'll get back onto that on another time, maybe another video. If people are interested, then comment below. Everything's reset. So you don't have access to any of the late game weapons, any of the high tier weapons at all. The Crowning King is like a distant memory in the future. The Uppercut's going to take you a while. You have to be level 20, like 6 or whatever for the conversion. Then you have to unlock the Uppercut. Mosin Nagant is like 5 years away down the line in that next prestige. So being able to have access to these weapons early on in the prestige equates to more kills, equates to more XP, equates to faster prestiging. Do you see where I'm coming from here? That's why it's useful. However, once you get to about level 15, maybe a bit earlier, then you're switching across to Bounty Hunt fully. And that's where the real XP gain starts to come in. Now, let's talk about the playstyle differences. This is where it gets a little bit more subjective, but I think some things will remain fairly consistent throughout this. Me personally, my playstyle, especially as a solo player, is super aggressive. Now, I've heard a lot of people that I've played with in the past say, in multiple different games as well, oh, I'm an aggressive player, and then I play with them, and they're like 50 meters behind me, they're hiding somewhere, they're like sniping, whatever. A lot of people think they're aggressive. I'm genuinely super aggressive, and I'm aggressive to a fault. I'm aggressive to the point where it's just, it is stupid, and I'll be the first to admit that. For whatever reason, I can't change it. I've tried, I can't. I'm the guy that's pushing into buildings alone against 2 or 3 players with a shotgun, and I'm just fighting them. I'm the guy that's pushing in with like a bolt action, point blank range, trying to outflick them. It gets me in trouble so much, but I'm a very, very aggressive player. The reason I'm saying this is, though, that even though a lot of times it backfires, it was still so much quicker in the prestiges where I focused on aggression than when I sat back with a sniper or a bolt action rifle. Because when you're playing aggressively, sometimes you'll come undone from it, and you have to learn your mistakes. You have to try and be objective about what went wrong, what you can improve in the future. That will all correlate to faster prestiges, because again, the less you're dying, the more success you're getting, the faster prestiges you're hitting. Because you're aggressive, you are dictating the pace of the action. You are getting in the mix, the business end. You're getting in amongst the XP. You're downing bosses first and banishing them. You're getting those kills which can unlock more AI, can unlock more control over certain points, which equates to more XP. Now, if you are a really good sniper and you have amazing game sense and great consistency with landing shots, you can absolutely make that work, no doubt at all. But I think across the board, on the whole, more people are going to get consistently more XP when they're playing a more aggressive style. Now, don't be as aggressive as me. As I said before, I'm stupidly aggressive. You know, somewhere in the middle of being able to do a bit of both would be ideal, but you have to figure out what playstyle is beneficial for you. For me, though, aggression is best. Always aggression. Always aggression. Also, focus on weapon variation unlocks. Not enough people do this. Have a clear goal of what you want to achieve. If you are trying to go through and unlock the uppercut, or there's a certain ammo type that you want to unlock, you want to be getting the weapons that you're best with and you can have the most impact with, because again, the more kills you're getting, the more success that you're having, the faster the prestige will be. So have a clear goal in mind. Do you know how you unlock that next variation that you desperately want? Do you know how far off that unlock you are? If you don't, come to the library. It's all here for you. All the information that you could want is here. So come to the library, have a clear goal in mind of how far off that variation you are, what you need to do. If you don't know, you can also see your unlocks here. It's just in progress in the bloodline, so you'll find out when you unlock certain weapons. So I know that I unlocked the Nitro Express. I never used this gun, by the way, but I know I unlocked the Nitro Express at level 88. How far off on that? I'm 6 levels away. Okay, in 6 levels I can use that. Definitely not going to, but I could. This is what I mean. Have a goal. Have a clear-cut idea in your mind of when you're going to unlock these variations and when you're going to hit those power spikes, and then utilize it. Make sure you're using those weapons. Make sure you're using the weapons you have the most success with. And again, this is where playstyles will differ. Personally, for me, my best and most successful weapons or loadout is when I'm using a shotgun, something like a rival, or if I can afford it, a Crown and King, and an uppercut, so I have best of both worlds, close and long range. If I don't have as much money, I'll drop to like a Vetley or a Winfield, and I'll try and play more mid-range. Maybe if I have fanning, I'll take something like a Caldwell conversion with dum-dum ammunition, which is super, super strong. You have to pick and mix and match the stuff that does best for you. And this all leads into one of the most important things about prestiging, and that is this button here. This is going to be your best friend throughout all of your prestiges. Again, I have tried to experiment with this, with maxing out my hunters to 50 and then cashing them out, or at 25. I'll show you another stat. I have 37 maxed out hunters. All of these were maxed out in my first 10 prestige levels, and then I was like, this isn't working for me. And it makes me sad. It makes me physically hurt when I think of how much experience that I wasted and threw away because I tried to get my hunters to level 50 rather than cashing them out at the second they hit 25. There is a reason why I've got this hunter up right now that's just shy of 24. Because first off, you can see I can't cash it out until 25, and secondly, I'm so close to 25 that what I'm going to do after I've recorded this video is I'm going to go back into the bayou, I'm going to go kill a few grunts, I'm going to get a couple of clues, and then I'm extracting. Is it sweaty and ratty? Yes, it is. But is it going to be more XP for me? absolutely. And don't get baited in to boss fights. Don't get baited in to fighting other hunters unless you absolutely have to and you have no other alternative. If you are close to 25, that threshold, the promised land of cashing out a hunter for XP, do everything in your power to hit that 25 and then just get rid. Should mention though, especially if you're in one of your first prestiges and you've never maxed out a hunter, you've never retired one before, make sure that you bag all of this stuff back into your inventory, into your arsenal of weaponry, because any items that are on your hunter, when you cash them out, will be lost. And I've learnt this the hard way when I lost the most in the Gant and an uppercut, like an absolute moron, and it made me very sad. So don't be like me. Be better than me, ladies and gents. Learn from my mistake. Take the weapons out, then get rid of them. And rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. All I want you to think about, if you want to do this as fast as possible, is how quickly can I get this hunter to 25 and then retire it? How quickly can I get my next hunter to 25? Get rid of it as fast as you possibly can. Over and over and over again. Finally, the last point, and one that I never really hear people talk about. And this is sweaty. This is basement dwelling. This is proper nerdy shit right now. If you're like me though, that's what it's all about. And you clicked on this video for the fastest way of prestiging, and so I'm going to give it to you. Play at the dead of night on a region. Now, if you don't have a job or school, or maybe like me, you're like a vampire and don't really sleep that much, or maybe it's the weekend and you just want to let loose and just play a bunch of hunt throughout the night and just chill. Awesome. Play between the hours of 1 to 5 AM. I know it's not that easy, but the reason why is because this is the time of night where the servers are dead. Sometimes you will load into a server that has nobody else on there, and typically killing hunters is one of the fastest ways to get XP, but if you are on a free server, the chances of you dying are so much lower, and you can just go and farm everything. You can kill the bosses, all the meatheads, all the hives, immolators, armoreds, water devils, dogs, whatever it is that you want to do. You can just run around the map and just kill everything as fast as possible. You can just run through their killer boss extract, run through their killer boss extract. Now, sometimes more people will spawn in. This is RNG, this is random. I've even had times at like 3 in the morning where the server was full, but most of the time it's empty. However, if this is during an event time, a lot of people will be on all hours of the day farming their event tokens, so keep that in mind, take that with a pinch of salt. But a lot of the time you're going to have much less people on the server. Now, if you can't play through all of the hours of the night, one of the great things about Hunt Showdown is that you can select your regions. And guess what? It may not be 1 through 5 AM at your time of day, but it might be somewhere else in the world. Go queue there instead. If you don't care about the ping, if you don't care about the fact that you might be playing on 100, 200 ping, go do this. I know it's sweaty, I know it is, but you're gonna get fast XP, and the most important part of this isn't just killing hunters, it's getting out of there quick with bosses, with a bunch of XP from meatheads, etc., and then cashing out, and then cashing out, and cashing out again. It's all about getting through the XP as fast as possible. Now, I should also mention as well, by the way, that it's important to take breaks in between prestiging. I genuinely think that recharging your battery, no one's going to be able to power through all 100 levels of prestige. I say that, someone definitely is going to be able to, but most mere mortals will not be able to, and I've taken a bunch of breaks as well. I've had times where I've hit 100 and I'm like, do you know what, I'm going to just enjoy some like high-end loadouts for a few days, and then I'll prestige afterwards. It's important to take breaks. And that allows you to grind and have that mindset of grinding in the times where you do want to go up the prestiges. So there you have it, guys. The most important thing is retire your hunters at 25. Play at the dead of night on whichever region it is that you prefer playing on at that particular time. If you can't play between 1 and 5 local time, go on someone else's server, go on EU East, sorry, not EU East, NA East, NA West, go on the Asian server, whatever it may be, if you can deal with a higher ping, and then just grind your ass off, and you will go through the prestiges faster. You will save a lot of time doing this. Again though, it is not going to be instant, and that's really important to remember. You're still gonna have to grind, you're still gonna be frustrated, this is still going to take a long time. I think I worked out that if I continue just grinding without any more pauses and breaks, I'll probably have Prestige 100 with about 2,200 hours of game time on my account, And that's including me kind of botching the first 10-15 prestiges by not doing it that quick. Also taking a lot of breaks in between all of that. So I think you could probably get down, if you are super sweaty and grind heavy on this game, and you are a much higher level than the average player, you can probably get level 100 prestige within 1.5 to 2,000 hours, if I had to guess. So it's not going to be instant, but you can cut down significantly how much time you have to play to get there. I hope this has helped you. I hope this hasn't been too long-winded and I've been thorough and complete with my thought process. If it has helped, then hit the like button below. And of course, as ever, I'll see you in the next stream or in the next video. Take care of yourselves, guys. Peace.